So let's remove the little protective covering of the tape here and fold this panel up. And now make sure you have it exactly in position where you want it before you stick, because with score tape, once you stick, it sticks. And that's where I want it, and I'm going to stick it just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. There we go. Okay, so now, as you can see, I have my cute little basket. Now the next step is to attach the handle. So what I've done here is I've taken an 8.5 inch piece strip of chocolate cardstock, and it measures 1.5 inches wide. And then I've taken a piece of the lemon drop cardstock, 8.5 inches by 1.25 inches wide. And then I'm going to decorate that whole thing with a strip of ribbon. So the best way to apply ribbon, I love using my score tape for this job. I'm just going to put some there, and same way on the other side, right along the stitched edge. Okay, and let me see if that's going to cover most of it. Yep, that'll be good. I could add a little bit more down here just to be safe. And maybe one more tiny piece right down here. Okay, now I'm going to remove the protective strips again. Oops. There we go. Now you want to make sure that you really have a good view of where center is before you press this down, because it will be very hard to pull it back up again. So, right in the center, and press. There we go. And now using my scissors, I'm just going to trim off that little bit of extra ribbon. And this is going to become my handle. So I'm going to bend it a little bit to give it some flexibility so it'll stay in place. And then I'm going to apply some score tape right onto the edge here. Now, although score tape is very, very strong, and it will hold very, very well, because I want the recipient to be able to actually pick this up even when there's some heavy things inside, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to really secure it into place. All right. So I'm going to take that score tape off, and then I'm going to find exactly the center. And I'm using the stitch lines there as a guide. So you can see what I mean. There I have the 2 points of the box meeting up with the double stitched line, and then I know it's right in the center. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Remove that piece and pop it into place. Like that. Now that just by itself is really cute. In order to secure these little handles, what I'm going to do is, and you do have to be careful not to poke your finger when you do this, but find the spot right in the center of that V and poke your paper piercer through the other side, and you can see that it's coming through the other side. And then I have 2 of the Lemon Drop brads from the spring collection, and I'm going to put those in backwards. So I'm actually going to have this part of the brad, I don't know if you can see that in there, but there you go. This part of the brad will be on the inside, and the ugly side of the brad will be on the outside, which is fine because I'm going to cover that on the outside, and it'll make the inside look more finished when the basket is empty. And then just open that up like that. So now I've secured that handle on just a little bit more, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Now, as you can see inside, that's all finished off. It looks very professional on the inside, and on the outside there's my raw edge. Okay, now what I've done here is I've stamped the stitched oval and some flowers and a greeting from the Spring Mix stamp set to make 2 panels, one for each side of the basket to cover that little open brad and to also decorate the outside of the basket. Now on one of them, I've actually staggered it a little bit off to the side so I could stamp a greeting. And this one would make a perfect gift for somebody who did something nice for you. So I just stamped thank you on this one. On another basket, I used one of the greetings from the Friend stamp set that says, my mother, my friend. And that's the one I'm going to give to my mom for Mother's Day. Okay, so now I'm going to add some score tape on the back because you really want this one to stick really well. And score tape is very, very strong. So we're going to put a long piece there, and then we're going to put 2 shorter pieces toward the bottom. Like that. Because some of it might extend past the top of the basket, and you don't want it to be sticky. Okay. And then I'm going to peel off these, and I'll show you how pretty this looks when you position it onto the side of the basket. Now here's the side of the basket, and I'm just going to pop it right there, like that. And that just finishes everything off so nicely. My final step for my basket is, what I've done here is I've taken just a little Ziploc lunch bag or any kind of lunch bag, and I've just cut the zipper part off the top, and I'm going to lay that inside my basket to protect the cardstock from getting wet when I put my flowers in. It makes a nice little protector. And then I went to my local garden store and I picked up some of these Yellow Boy marigolds. They're just the perfect color to accent the lemon drop cardstock, and these are really, really popular. You can find them almost anywhere. And then I've cut up some tissue paper, and I'm just going to wrap a single marigold, stick it into the basket, and I'm going to take another one, do the same thing, wrap it with some tissue paper, and slip it into the basket. And you can get 2 on each side like that, and when you put 4 in, it'll look like this one. Isn't that cute? Although this basket looks beautiful, filled with fresh flowers ready for planting, you can also use it for candy, cookies, and baked goods, or fill it with craft embellishments and give it to your best stamping friend.